How can we forget about the other war, the Ukraine war? It's been about 3 weeks since the Hamas-Israel war broke out, and within this period, Russia has intensified its attacks on Ukraine. You see, Russian forces have launched a series of massive attacks involving thousands of troops as well as tanks and armored vehicles on Ukrainian positions in the east of the country. This in an effort to encircle the Ukrainian forces. According to the Ukrainian military commander, Russia has allegedly gone from taking a defensive posture to taking active actions. According to experts, these are tough weeks ahead for Ukraine. Reports say that this is Putin's response to Ukraine's summer offensive. The Russian president reportedly ordered Russian forces over a month ago. He prepped them to launch local counter-offensives along the 1,000-kilometer front line. Russia hopes to stop the counter-offensive before winter sets in. So what's behind this latest escalation? The answer to that question is very simple. You see, American weapons, Western attention has all suddenly shifted towards what's happening in Gaza. And Russia has taken advantage of this situation. Russia has poured in more men, more equipment into some assaults in northeast Donbass, towards Kupiansk in southeast Donbass, and at Avdiivka and in Zaporizhia. Moscow aims to halt the Ukrainian progress, especially in the southern regions. What's more, Moscow has reportedly started digging into its stockpile of missiles that it has so far been saving. It looks like Russia's winter air offensive is already underway, targeting Ukrainian infrastructure for the second year running. Intense fighting is underway in the city of Avdiivka. It is located in the Donetsk region of Ukraine. Russia's renewed attack at Avdiivka, which began on the weekend of October 7th, remember that date, is particularly significant. The Russian troops have reportedly diverted resources to try and surround the city. They say the Russians have brought in about 6 brigades and a great deal of air power and artillery power from other units. They are bombarding the 2 Ukrainian brigades holding the city. Ukraine says they are defending the city, but Avdiivka is starting to become another Bakhmut. Remember, the battle for Bakhmut had become a prestige battle earlier this year. The fighting was so fierce, it was called Bakhmut meat grinder. But Avdiivka actually holds strategic value. Let me explain. It is on a key route into the city of Donetsk, as close to the airport as it is to the northern suburbs of the city. The road system makes Avdiivka the gateway to southern Donbass. It is Ukraine's route to victory in this area. So if they lose Avdiivka, they will be locked out of the entire south. And whatever they have achieved in Donbass further north will count for little. And Ukraine is now deeply worried. Reports say that the Ukrainian offensive, which started in July, is almost over, without significant achievements. The perception in the West is that the war for Ukraine's survival seems to have reached a stalemate. Kyiv kept demanding more and more weapons, but Ukrainian troops have not been able to gain much on ground because of Russia's formidable defense. But Ukraine has been able to hold ground. Its situation is better than a stalemate. Kyiv's troops have inflicted losses on Russian forces recently. In 10 days, from October 10th, Russia's visually verified vehicle losses in Avdiivka were 109. Ukraine was able to inflict damage to Russian tanks, fighting vehicles and supporting units. And in the past week, its losses have not diminished. And they will certainly keep fighting, even if the wet weather gives way to freezing ground come winter. Experts say if Ukrainian troops don't buckle under current Russian pressure in Donbass, then the immediate strategic prize is to get within easy missile and artillery range of Crimea. Yes, the Crimean Peninsula that Russia annexed in 2014. If they succeed, it would make it too dangerous for the Russians to use Crimea as a military hub. It would be a major setback for Vladimir Putin. With only 2 land routes connecting Crimea to the rest of Ukraine and only 1 bridge over the Kerch Strait linking it to Russia, Crimea is inherently vulnerable if the Ukrainians get closer. Russian forces have learned some lessons, made some changes in their strategy after 20 months of war. They combine their forces better than they did now. They use air power much more efficiently now. And they are able to protect their logistics more carefully now. On an operational level, the Russian High Command still throws 1 unit after another into the front line. It has no reserve and it keeps piling troops into the battlefield. This has now become a war of attrition, a type of conflict not witnessed in the West since World War I and II. Wars of attrition are won by the side that persists, the one capable of mobilizing its industry and directing its capacity straight to the battlefield. From advanced digital systems to ammunition to boots on the ground. The Russians are making their efforts, and so is Ukraine. However, with Western support stretched thin by the ongoing war in Gaza, drawing every bit of attention away, can Ukraine really match up to Russia? It's a formidable challenge. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.